So, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our class today. I'm going to, before we actually get started, we're going to actually do two parts. Jerome's going to teach a part, and he swears he's going to let me teach something today and not give me 5 minutes to do it. So, he's going to take about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to take 20 minutes. And coincidentally, we have what we're going to do today is similar. He's going to feature a medley with a whole different style in song selection. He's got 3 songs, I believe. And I'm going to feature medley. I don't have the music, unfortunately, because I couldn't find it anywhere. However, my medley is going to incorporate. You can use this for a lot of styles. All right. However, I did send out some links in the email today, and I want you to. I'm going to screen share that email. So give me a moment here. Let me access it because as I do, I want to kind of walk through with you. Give me just a moment, folks, as I log into my account and pull up that email here. And there's a couple things because what I did is I put an attachment on there. And then I gave you what I call the full access. And that link's going to remain there. So as long as you keep that email, you can always go back to it and play around with it to see if you can make it work for you. And so let me do this. Pull up the email from today. Christmas Song of the Month. I'm going to do a little share. Copy. And then I'm going to open up the email. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to screen share a copy of the email today. Now this is going to look a little differently than your actual email, just because I'm bringing it up on a website here. All right, give me a minute. All right, so it looks something like this. All right. And it had in here, it said, click here for today's music, and then this access here. Now, click here for today's music. Today was probably a little easier than usual. You just click it, and it should open up. There's still people joining, so bear with me here. I'm going to keep admitting them as they join. So when you open it up, it should easily just give you some of the songs that Jerome's going to feature and talk about today, okay? So that part's pretty easy. Now, what I'm going to do, let's see here. Don Casanova, are you there? Is that you, Don?
That is I.
I'm going to ask a favor of you.
Yes.
Turn off your phone, Don. No, I'm just kidding. Where are you? I'm going to give you a co-host responsibility. Where'd you go? Give me a second, folks. Because there's people that keep joining, and I have to keep an eye on the. They changed that, so you can keep an eye on that and just keep letting them in as they come in. So you should be a co-host now, and you can do that. So, folks, I'm back to the. I'm going to go back to the materials. So that's one way you can get to the materials is just click on that link. Now, if you click here, I don't want to spend too much time on it today, but I want to show you. Anytime we add materials to this particular part of the link, you can access it. It's the same one. So I wouldn't lose this email because I may come back and add some materials. I may find, if anybody has the song Winter Wonderland, by the way, or Santa Claus is coming to town, email it to me. And what I'll do is I'll put it in this location. And if you click on that, it'll update, but the link will be the same. So when you click on it, Dawn, if you could let the next few people that are in the waiting room in, that would be very helpful. So if you click on the link, what it does is it comes up to this. It says Christmas music setups, music and materials, and presets and recordings. This folder right here, folks, this is really designed for, Anybody has a Prestige, Sterling, Symphony, Patriot, Liberty, all those A series from a Prestige on up. Any EX series or EY, you got Inspire, Rialto, Marquis, Grand Marquis, and Aria. And you can get to these. And the point of this is that these files are a little bit difficult to send just through a regular email. And then there's this little, you don't have to sign in or sign up. There's this little download option here. You could probably see that. And you could do what's called a direct download, and it puts it on your computer. Once you do that, all of those files are there. Or if you have some of these, you can go in, and for example, today, these presets I'm going to talk about today are right here. Well, you could download that information. Now, this is not something that's going to be easy for some if you're not used to it. In some cases, some people it'll be easy for. Over here, it says Christmas music and materials. You'll see that there's that one there. You'll see that there's a Christmas music and materials here. That's the stuff that we're gonna talk about today. So everything we teach will be in that. And over time, if I update that, it'll automatically be there. So you can go back and check and click and do whatever you want. Just click, save this email with that link. All right? So that's just a little bit of a tidbit on that. And since I'm recording this, what I just mentioned will be a part of the recording. And I'll make sure you get that piece of the recording to you, okay? So, with that said, we are going to have Mr. Jerome Johnson actually has a few songs he wants to feature today. And then I've got a little medley, and we're going to just give some general setups today that should work for virtually every model. So I'm going to put the camera over there.
Okay.
And you are being viewed by 112 people, Jerome.
Hey, everybody out there in Santa Land.
Now, he does not get to see the screen that I see because where he's sitting, so he has to pretend he's looking at a bunch of you. But he knows the camera's there, or if you want to look over here on the, so he might be looking over here every now and then. But he's got a few songs that he's going to be featuring today, and let me pull it up on the screen. Shall I pull it up here?
Yeah, you can put it up on the screen. I just randomly picked some songs for the holidays that you can play at a fast pace, so you can have your grandkids dancing and everybody in a happy mood.
All right, so we've got here, "Oh Come All Ye Faithful."
Joy to the world.
Let's see, "Joy to the World."
And Angels We Have Heard on High.
I'm so glad he chose these songs. Look at that. They're in the key of C. Whew, key of F. Oh, thank goodness. I was worried. I was worried he was going to pick one in the key of G today, make it hard for me. So real simple songs. You should have them there. And there you have it. All right, so I screen shared that. And let me get out of the screen share there. Turn it back over to you.
Okay. We thought about this almost 2 weeks now, Robert and I. We've been working hard at this, okay? I really enjoyed Sean's class on recording this morning. Now you can get ready to set up for recording. We're going to try to teach you some easy setups. The first thing I did when I walked in the door, being that Robert and I play the same organs on a lot of times on these workshops, he already loaded his presets. But I'm glad he told me, because I figured out a trick that I can go real quickly and set up stuff for me.
That means don't touch my presets,
And
Jerome.
what I did,
don't touch my presets.
What I did, guys, if that ever happens to you, go to My Settings. Okay, My Settings is right there. So I set up a few things for myself real quick so it doesn't interfere with his presets. I put a few things in there for myself, and I went set 1, and it doesn't bother Robert's preset. So I'm not going to use these right now. Later on, I could do that and put them in the presets in the my settings too. So if you forget to use my settings, if you got two people in the house especially, or you following somebody up at a concert and they got the same organ, my setting is a great feature to use, okay? I think we kind of forget about my settings. And it is on all of the instruments all the way up from the imperial through the aria, okay? My setting is a great feature to use. What I did real quick, I said, okay, Jerome, I need some Christmas sounds. So I said, okay, we know we like the French horn. That's a great Christmas instrument. We got to have bells.
Oh, that's so cute.
Okay. We got to have bells, so we got to have the choir voices in the left hand.
So let me get this straight. You have some
I got some
horns,
bells. I got
French,
some
you
horns.
got a French horn. He's got some bells, and he's got a choir
In the left
on
hand.
the lower. I want to make sure I see people writing stuff down.
Yeah. I also got choir in the right hand too. But
Susan
it's
LaCroix,
sound
she is
too.
writing that down. She is
Yeah.
studying very hard. Carol's got her thinking
I see
cap on.
Carol's
I
doing
see
it, yeah.
everybody there, yeah.
So those are some settings you can use right away, and it's not a lot of them. It's just choir. I love the open French horn. Okay, there's a couple of French horns in there, near and far. If you want a near French horn in the orchestra, they normally put the fist in the bell of the instrument. Okay, so you get a near one. If you want it out, you open your fist up, and it gets louder. So, but it says near and far French horns in there. Okay. We're gonna do now. You can put these songs in any order you want to. I chose "Joy to the World" to go first, and "Oh Come Y'all, You Faithful Second," and "Angels We Have Heard on Side High" third. You don't have to have them in that order, okay? You can put them in the order you want to put them in. Now, all three songs basically are in three different keys: C, F, and G. I think Joy to the World is in C. Oh, Come All You Faithfuls in G, and Angels We Have Heard on Sides High is in F. If you can think fast, or if you want to rewrite it, put them all in C. If you got a good ear, and a lot of people out there got ear for music, just play them all in C and use your transposer button. Especially if you can memorize, like one of the classes that Robert taught last week. Use his method for memorizing your classes, and you'll be set to go, all right? And today, I think I'm going to use the memorize method, and I'm not going to worry about what key the next song is in. I'm just going to start playing it. Makes it a lot easier if you're going to play a medley of songs. The rhythm I chose today is something upbeat, and I know you got it on your instruments. You got it under rock and contempo beat, and it's actually the disco with alter style and variation mode. So you can play along with that all the way through all of the three songs. Of course, if you're going to play the song, first of all, use your easy button for an introduction. You don't have to use the introductions on the instrument. Okay, watch this. I even threw a fourth song in there. If you notice, it doesn't matter how many songs you got. You can put 10 songs in that medley if you like. Okay. Just remember to do this when you're doing it. You got to have some kind of a variety with it. So if you start off with your altar style, start it off with just the bass and drums, and then maybe the next song you might want to do add the genie. Okay, you add the genie next, and then maybe the variation. Then maybe the third song you might want to add the orchestra plus, because I had to turn it up a little bit. I had it down, and go from there. So there's a lot. You don't have to use just one song in a medley of songs like that. You can play half of it this way. You can play the other half and go back to the other song. Okay, but using the French horns and the bells, you're gonna definitely get a good Christmas song, Christmas sound. Now you also could add your what we call the the bells for Christmas or
The thing.
the thing,
The
the
thingy?
thingamajig, you know, the
Okay, okay, folks, you see his hand moving around like that. What instrument is that do that with your hand? Do that with your hand again?
it's, just,
It's a
it's
Jingle
just
Bells.
sleigh bells?
sleigh bells.
Thank goodness. He was going to hurt himself there.
And of course, if you want to quickly find them, if you got the quick pick button, go to something that starts with an S. Hit one of the quick picks over here. Let's go here and scroll up. Let's see here. Quick pick. S there. Society piano. No, we don't want to go to the S's. Just scroll. You can find your sleigh bells. I could not think of sleigh bells then for some reason. Why?
Because that's the way you are, Jerome.
That's the way I am. But and it's SLA, right?
I think it's.
SLE.
Are you so good?
I
you
don't
have
think
told
it's
me
in
that.
the list of genius sounds.
It's not.
No, it's probably in a sound effect.
All right, and then let's do this then. Do the same thing again. The synthesizer, and hit.
You want the sleigh bells?
Yeah.
Oh well, you got to hit the sound effect, and then you got to hold it
You're right. I'm hold it and then scroll.
and scroll, and then you have to go to sleigh bells.
You're so smart, Robert.
But I have a feeling that we have some people that can't do this. I wonder
They
if
have
they
to
could
put
do
it
it
in-
on a smaller organ. You can't get it from there either, apparently.
I think he went by it.
I don't think so. So you can't get it in
So I can't get it in there, but I can get it here. Like this. Not in the little sound effects?
in the lower sound effects, maybe.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Let's see if it's one that's listed in the lower sound effects. So we're going to hit this. Hold on. We're going to go over here, and we're going to go to, was it S
Yes,
for
right.
sleigh bells?
Mhm.
Let's see. I don't see it unless it's under the. It might be under the percussion.
Yes.
That's it.
That's
Okay, it's called Jingle Bells.
Yeah. That's,
Okay, so folks, if you have sound effects that you can choose from on your instrument, this is a very good point here.
Yeah.
You can search for the sound effect here in your sound effects or when you program them, but it's not your usual sound effects that's listed under the sound effects.
Right.
So what happens is you got to go through what's called the percussion sound effects. So make a note just in case you're writing this down. You have to put your sound effects on, and it goes through the cows, the horses, the laughing, and all that stuff. And then there's a group of sound effects that's considered what they call percussion. And well, I'm going to scroll through and let you hear this, folks. So here's Jingle Bells, and it's a sign. I'm going to go to you hear all their what they call percussion sound effects. That's the drums, the cymbals. So the Jingle Bells is in that group because it's not really a sound effect. And then you have to lock it. It's not a sound effect that you would use like a horse or sound or a siren or something like that. So now that you have it's in there.
Yeah. I just went out of it for a second.
It's locked. Sounds like you also have some thunder in there.
I
It's a
hear.
very thundering Christmas
It
holiday.
was a,
Now, I had a comment in the chat. They said you could also try the holiday sound effect, a holiday
oh
category.
yes,
Is
yes.
that in the more?
I was about to get to that
Oh, he
part.
was
Okay.
about ready to get to that.
Because
Stan,
I want to say that
where's
if you don't
Stan?
want to do,
Stan, you're jumping ahead. This is our class, Stan.
okay,
Just
the
kidding.
reason why I was going to say that for last, because we always do that. You know, for us who like to tinker with the buttons, and I do like tinkering with the buttons, okay? But again, for those who want to make it easier, go to your more button, okay? Hit your holiday sounds, and you set up for almost everything under the presets. And it'll tell me exactly what I got to use on here. I got in the zero preset button, I got jolly vocals, okay? I got, in number one, I got hand bells and flute on the bottom. I got a country Christmas and a guitar on the number two. Holiday O's, that means it's going to be like, ooh, that type of sound, or maybe even better. I got the Leroy strings. Now, people always want to know who's Leroy Anderson. Actually, he was one of the premier all-American composers of the early 20th century, okay? The Army Band played a lot of his music, and you've heard Robert play that's Leroy Anderson, by the way, okay? And he did a lot of he's well known as American composer.
Sleigh Ride song.
Sleigh Ride song, right?
Okay.
You also got the Mannheim strings, and that consists of a bunch of electronic instruments, okay, like the synthesizer. Ethnic Christmas, that's for me. For those who want to laugh at that. You got the choir. You got the fairy bells for Robert. You got the flutes and the horns. See, they got a horn in their horn with the bell in theirs. And you got the brass and the choir. So they sound something like this, and you can play it whatever you want to. That's the first sound you got, which is zero positioning. Then you got the hand bells. You got Country Christmas. Holiday O's. You get that Vox Humana sound from the older organs, okay, up from the big theater organ sounds. And then Leroy Anderson strings. Mannheim, that works good with the disco on any organ. That works good with any of the fast-paced rhythms on the instrument, okay? You also got in number 5, you got the violin on the bottom. Number 7, nice big classical pipe organ. And the choir on top, and so on and so on. So you don't even have to worry about even making up your sounds if you like to. Because I like to tinker. Again, I come up with my French horns and my bells myself and use my own presets. Okay, Robert, I think I've used up a lot of your time, and I don't want to give
Well, first, before we go, we have any questions about anything Jerome has discussed? Now's a good time. Raise your hand, wave in the air, use the hand raise, unmute yourself, just ask a question. Any questions whatsoever? I have a question, Jerome.
Yes.
What if I don't have a big organ like that and I want to play, what was the songs you have? Joy to the World?
Uh-huh.
Joy to the World.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going to show you guys. Watch this. Stay right there, Jerome. Hopefully I can play it. I might make you move around. So here's an example. Here is, let's see if I can turn this way. Can they see that okay in there?
Yeah. Oh, you got it perfectly.
Okay. So here is one of the easy series. This is Easy P7. So the style I'm going to use, I believe, is on most of the easy models, even our beginners one. This is the rock rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
I hope this works. I didn't try this out yet.
All right.
Here we go. All right.
You use the 8-beat sound with the up tempo.
Is it? Let's see. All right.
You got a choice. That works. Yeah.
Okay. I might need the music here.
All right. That works with it.
Whoops. What style is that, really? It's called a rock, but what do
yeah.
they call that, Jerome?
It's an 8-beat, and you can find that 8-beat on a lot of your smaller instruments. It's a straight 8-beat at about 120.
That's a rhythm style that a lot of people may not go to. Maybe they're like, I'm not a rock and roll fan, but that's actually a really neat rock style because that style is very flexible. I've heard people play La Bamba with it.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people play a lot of different songs with it. And believe it or not, for the Christmas time of the year, that's another style that you could use. Are you going to demonstrate that?
I'm going to demonstrate.
You better do it fast because it's my
I'm going to
turn,
demonstrate it where they
Jerome.
can find it real fast, okay?
Last time he did this, he took up all my time. I'm warning you, I got it recording.
And I just picked out.
Which one is that?
Actually, that's the guitar, but
That's your guitars category. But
you
there's
can also
actually
use it. You can also use a soft gospel.
soft gospel works
Soft
for
gospel.
What tempo are you playing it at, though?
120.
So the secret here is find a tempo that works for you. The disco is really cool. A lot of people don't use disco for that style. They typically use a traditional style for that. There's a style that some of you have. Write this down. Tabernacle choir.
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
Tabernacle choir
that is really
is a classic sound for Joy to the World.
And it has a great intro with it.
I believe it's under well, if all else fails, we look for it on the style list.
Gospel.
That could be true, but they moved it on a couple of instruments, and we have to.
There it is.
There it is. Tabernacle Choir is 84, but you can also put that.
Well, put it at 84 first, because
Okay.
the way they play. That's the slower version, but if you speed it up a little bit,
It is. At about 100.
and now you have a style that you can go from Tabernacle Choir to the rock 8-beat to the disco.
And we
can go
just use the holiday sounds on this one. Yeah.
So you got a lot of options for just that song, those 3 songs, and you'll find yourselves using a lot of other songs with it. Are there any questions before we go to part 2 today? Any whatsoever? No? Gary? Sharon?
Gary, are you there?
Or Sharon? Or Sharon? It seems like there's multiple Sharons. Okay, how do we get, let me see, there's someone that did a chat. How do we get the music to print? The music to print is in the email that I sent out today. All right. So if you got the email, you should have gotten it in this email that looked like this. Someone unmuted me. Okay. Someone muted me. All right. So in the email, it looks like this. You click right here, and you click on that, and it'll open up the music, and then you can print it right from there. If you're not on our emailing list for any reason, send me your email. Just email me. It's rroman@fletchermusic.com, and I can make sure to get it to you. And that way, when we send out the materials in advance, you will have it. And I just put my email in the, oops. Let me put this here. I'm going to type in email, text, chat to everyone in the meeting. Okay. All right. Now moving on, I'm going to do a part 2 to this. I'm going to give you another setup. It's going to be a little on the different side. It's going to be more of a, it's kind of a setup that you're going to use for multiple. You can use it multiple ways.
Multiple. Does that mean more than once?
That means you can use it for more than one song. All right. Let me just change it here to me for a second. All right. So, you're on mute? Okay. So, what I'm going to do is a setup, and I'm going to put it up on the screen here. And you're going to want to use that email I sent out with the materials because, and actually what I'll do is I will also share it in the chat to see if you can get this. But, whoops. Oh, I forgot I got 2 cameras. But what I wanted to do is, actually, I think I heard Jerome do this once upon a time. And you got all his locks on. I did, but he locked everything on me. See, I told him not to mess with my presets, and he did it anyway.
Well, you know.
All right. So here's a setup that's really kind of fun because you can use it for a variety of songs. The 2 that I'm going to feature, I couldn't find the music, so I wanted to feature a little bit of Winter Wonderland and Santa Claus is Coming to Town or anything in that flavor. And it's a classic style that is actually on almost every model out there. It's a style called Franken the Count. Now, Franken the Count, when you put on Franken the Count with just a rhythm preset, it comes up at 160, and it comes up like this. So it's, it's really fast. It's at 160 and it has a big sound. All right. So, but what I wanted to do is something a little bit different. And so what I'm going to put in the chat here, and I'll put it on the screen in just a moment, is I'm going to, what I did is I took the style, and I do this a lot, and I found that as I teach this particular thing on a lot of the classes, I still get questions about it. And so I tend to talk about it over and over for a reason. Because to me, if you notice when Jerome was playing, the initial setup he gave you for these songs, he had the French horn, the bells. He eventually used some category presets, but he played an entire 3-song medley with really just 2 sounds, a French horn and bells, and a style. Now, if he was playing this in concert, I'm guessing he would probably do something a little more. He might reach up and turn on the Genie. I heard him refer to the Genie, the Orchestra Plus, or the Alta Style, or something like that. You'd be surprised how much that makes a difference. Okay? And by the time I'm done with this, I'm going to play it over here on the little model as well, so you see that you could do this setup even if you don't have a large model, okay? So the style's Franken the Count, but the difference is I took it from what you just heard, and it's going to sound like this. Here we go. That sounds quite a bit different. That sounds quite a bit different than this. Let me put on you have the tempo lock on as well? No, okay. All right, let's, here we go. Here's what it normally comes up to. Now that's quite a bit different than this.
Big difference on this one. Yeah. Oh, I could have a lot of fun with that rhythm. At the end, maybe we should do a little duet with that.
So in that style, the only thing that was used in that style was the rhythm style Franken the Count and then the tempo. The only sounds that were really changed were the piano, the guitar, there was a trumpet in there, and then some big organ sound.
Robert,
Yes?
you have two hands up. Larry
Oh my
Munster
goodness, two hands. What am I going
and
to do with
Elizabeth
myself here?
Lyons.
Say it again. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Yes, what did you do with To Franken the Count to change the way it sounded?
Oh, well, it just so happens that's the next part of this class. Good question. Hold that thought.
Also, Robert, I got a question.
Uh-oh.
Supposing Uncle Frank came over and Aunt Janice, and they want to sing along with you.
Yeah. I
But-
guess you let them sing along.
But your key is totally bad.
My key is bad? You just change your key. Is that too high for you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, Jerome. I have to remind him this is my part now. Not his. No. All right, Larry, what's your question? When you sing along, is that going to be too high of a key? You could sing any key, can't you? Larry, you have a question? Your hand's up?
Oh, there it is. Oh, okay.
Okay. Larry, if you have a question, just go ahead and chime in. I'm going to go on. Technically, to answer your question, Elizabeth, this is what I did. First of all, I want you to listen to the band for a moment. Okay? Now listen again. Hear the band change. Listen again. The band changed. The band changed. Not too much there. They're about the same there. A little bit. Change. Now listen. Okay? Now, if you don't have these options, here's what I have to tell you. If you have just even the easy one, right? A little easy one, the little Leslie Discovery 3, if you don't have some of the things I'm telling you, you can still play this song. And I'm going to prove it to you when I come over to the Easy EP7 over here, okay? Which is the style that I'm going to use. But what I'm going to pull up on the screen here, and actually, before I do that, I'm going to also put it in the chat. If you have a computer, you can download it straight from what I'm about ready to give you. All right. So, all right. So I just put my materials, and what I'm going to screen share here, if I could find it. Someday I'm going to learn how to use a computer. I know this is a little tough for me sometimes. I'm going to have to reach out to some of my students. You probably know better than I do. Here we go. Okay. So here is, in short, what I did. Okay. I took Frank in the Count, and I put here, or a similar swing style. Most swing or big band styles, not so much swing, like the serenades, the San Frans, those are pretty slow. But a lot of the big band styles typically are a lot faster. They usually come up at 140, 145. In this case, it came up to 160. But you'll notice the tempo I put is 115. Now here's something that's kind of important here. It says here, for my left-hand sound, and I use this left-hand sound throughout the whole song, I put on some piano, strings, and organ. Now, if you can do all three, great. Some of you can only do one option. Which option do I use? Whichever one sounds best to you, okay? Strings or piano, organ, all three. Now, for those of you who have it, this is the part I want you to make a note on. And this is actually a trick that Jerome does from time to time. He'll turn off, sometimes when he's playing, he'll turn off the memory option. Okay? Now, Gary, do you see my notes up here? I want to make sure everybody's seeing what I'm saying. You see where it says, okay. All right. Memory off. If you have a button that says memory, believe it or not, I actually, when I play manually, I turn off the memory. When I don't play manually, I keep it on. This is one of those cases I'm turning it off, but I'm not playing full chords. I'm doing the easy play. All right? Now, I'm going to put this back up here in a minute, and I'm going to show you on the screen. You see everything in red here? This is all I did. As I played the song, I went from a piano to a guitar. Everybody has a piano on their instrument. I've got an easy 2. There's a piano on it. I've got an easy 1. There's a piano on it. I only have a Discovery 3. There's a piano. Anybody that has any kind of instrument has either a piano and a guitar on it. What I did is I put it in red, representing that anybody can use those sounds. Now, some of you have these buttons here, and I saw Jerome do it earlier when he was playing. He turned off the Orchestra Plus and the Genie. So here's what I did with this setup. The answer to your question is this is what I did right here. I put Frank in the Count. I put that tempo or similar big band style. And then I turned off the Orchestra Plus and put on a piano. And I happen to have a muted trumpet. I didn't even use it, but it's there. And then for the second setup, all I did was turn on drum variation.
I hope she's not doing anything rash
Me too.
too soon.
I hope she's not doing anything rash either.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It is live TV, okay?
It's Zoom. I love it. It's not nearly as embarrassing as I was sitting here, one of our Zoom musicals a couple weeks ago, and I was so hungry I was eating, and somehow my video got spotlighted to me, and it was me eating my food. But anyway, so now I'm going to come back to the screen here, because what I said about the memory is when you have what I have here. Now, I'm not a fan of making a very loud, a strong left-hand chord, loud enough to hear it, because to me, the band is the accompaniment. And this is actually something that Jerome does. You use a lot of piano sounds, but I have piano and organ, but you'll hear the piano. And I'll turn off the strings and the organ. Okay, but here's the difference. I have the memory feature off. So this way, when I'm holding the chord, I don't have that, what a lot of people refer to as the hum. Okay, so when I'm playing, I can go.
See, it doesn't clash with the background.
Drum said a very important thing here. It doesn't do what?
Clash with the accompaniment.
It doesn't clash with the accompaniment. It's very important. A lot of times we want to hear the chord in our left hand, but sometimes it's like, okay, there's too much of that chord in there. So it clashes with the background when you have it going strong enough and you have the background going. I don't want that. I want... What's cool about this is if you play it however it feels to you and you tap that chord occasionally, if someone was to hear you or if you were to record yourself and play it back, it almost sounds like you did it intentionally, and it kind of comes across professionally sounding. Listen. So I have that set up throughout the entire song. But what I did is I went back from a piano to a guitar, from a piano to a guitar, and I had a trumpet, and then I ended with a big, big organ sound. Everybody can do that on their instrument. So
old school, it meant comp left hand.
Say that again.
Comp. We compliment. They shorten the word and say comp left hand. That's the old school version of.
Did
doing
y'all
it
catch
way.
that? Say that again. Let me turn you up a little bit.
Old school version is comp left hand.
Okay.
A compliment left hand, basically.
Yeah, because that's, if you really think about it, back before accompaniment styles,
That's what
your
you wanna
left
play-
hand
play.
was the accompaniment.
Exactly.
Now we don't have to. So what happens is this is kind of an important topic because a lot of people fall into the trap of they want to hear their left hand, and they put too much there, and it takes away from the background. And then sometimes the opposite happens. They put the background, and it's so strong, and they record, and it doesn't embellish what you're doing. So a nice little thing is to put on a chord sound of some sort that you like, take the memory off if you have it, and just hit the chord occasionally. And it works well with that style. Now I'm going to come back to the screen share here, and I'm going to put that back up. And again, look at the screen here. I have an easy 2. Can I do this? Yes. Put on the Frank and the Count. That standards full band is that style. I can put a left-hand chord or string sound. If you do not have the memory option, I'm going to tell you to turn it down so it doesn't overbear. It doesn't overbear the accompaniment, okay?
Or call me.
Or call Jerome, he'll help you. All right. So you'll see I went from a piano to guitar, and then I ended with what's called a full organ sound. Now, for those of you who have the flute sounds, those tabs, we have a lot of people that, what are those tabs for? That's the organ sounds. 16, 8, 5 and a third, 4. In this case, I said put all possible flutes that you have. Some organs don't have these ones, okay? And then it just tells you right here what sounds I used. So, here again is the setup. See if I can switch camera view here. Okay. So, you'll see I have the piano. Okay. And then what I did in the next setup is I just reached up and I turned on a drum variation or something like that, and the altar style. And the band changes with the sound. So all I did was change the sound and an occasional drum variation and altar style. And then when I come back to the next part of the song, and And then the next setup, I did the same thing and changed the sound again, and we have. Or you could do other fun songs with it. You could do something like. Okay, so that's all that was done in that style. Let me pull that back up, and then I'm going to come back over to the smaller model and play a little bit of that, and then I'll actually play the entire song all the way through using this setup. So you'll see here, this setup here was simply using the major sounds in the upper. If you have a lower right, I had some other sounds programmed in it, just in case, but that wasn't the main sound. And it tells you, like if you have a, say a symphony, for example, and you say, what do I do? Just, if you do this step by step and put those sounds on, you'll get the same effect that I just told you, okay? Now, this setup is in that link I shared with you that you can get, all right? So now, before I go on, let me come back over to this here. And I won't be able to see you guys for a minute, but let me see. I said Franken account, is it? So that's a standard. It actually says Franken account in here. On some of the Easy series, they may not say it, but if you put standards with the full band, and on the SD, you just put the standards, and that's another style that's perfect for that. And then make sure you put this is at 140. I'm going to put it down to, what did I say, 117?
115.
115?
Yeah.
All right. And then I set a piano. So let's see my piano. That is a nice piano. Okay, and then what else? Guitar. Let's see what we got for guitars. We got a rock guitar and a clean guitar and a country. Oh, jazz. Oh, nylon.
There you go.
All right, nice jazz guitar. And then I said something about a full organ. Let's see here. We got. You can use a full organ. A jazz organ works nicely. All right, and I'll play a little bit of it here. Let's see. I start off with the piano intro. Here we go. Fill in. Guitar.
Yeah, we can do White Christmas or something. Yeah, just set up with White Christmas. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So did you see that was that same setup? And I didn't. Now in that case, I didn't change any memory on it. I didn't change. I don't have the. I don't think I have an Orc Plus button on that one or drum variations. And there go. It worked nicely for that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same setup and do a, I'll do Santa Claus is Coming to Town because I mentioned it and I didn't really play it. And I'm going to show you how you can use that setup perfectly for that. Then I've got a nice little special treat for you. Oh, yes. Because as we were doing this, you know, it's funny when you learn to do this over the years, a lot of times you have something in mind to teach in a class, and then you're teaching in a class and you have those, oh yeah, we can do that, and I can do that, and I can do that, and we can do that. So I'm going to do that one little thing, but it's a little surprise for you. Using that same setup. So don't go anywhere because you're gonna love it. All right. But let me play those same setups using now, if you're one, by the way, if you're one to use presets, just so you know, in that link that I gave, and there's some basic instructions in that link that I gave you, I have the presets for these in here. So I did it two ways. I gave you a typed out if you wanted to do it step-by-step instructions, all right? And then I gave you, if you happen to have the models that I mentioned, you can get the presets and just load them in, okay, which is what I did. That's why you notice when I'm going from A1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 so easily, it's because I programmed it in advance so I could teach it, all right? So I'm going to play a little bit of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and then we have a little special treat for you after that. I'm going to show you how you can play this setup for another great hit song of the holiday season. So right here, let's try it with, and this time instead of using an intro, my introduction is going to be a no chord with a fill in. So I'm going to use the touch bar and do a no chord. So you see that that worked out nicely for that song.
Nice.
There's so many great songs that you
Very
can do that
nice.
with. Now again, before I give you your special little treat here, if you go to the email, and I'm going to show it to you one more time here. If you go to the email, it looks like this. If you click this, this gives you all of the music and then some. It actually gives you, there's presets, there's a song, this is the material from one of the classes, this is the material from the other. And then if you, presets of recording, you go on there, and it says, what child is this? And the swinging holiday presets. And what you do is you click on that, and then this little download, direct download, will give you those presets, okay? And then what you got to do is copy that information onto your USB, and then it has some instructions here. What do I do? Let me see. It tells you, here's what you do. You download it. After you download it, you copy and you put that onto your preset in your USB, and then you load in A1 through 6, and you'll have everything that I taught you today. Or you could do this.
Amen.
You can go here, and here's the setup, the information I just gave you. You can print this out, and then you can do it yourself, okay? But you don't have to sign up for a Dropbox. Just click, you can exit out of there, all right?
And when can we expect to see that in the email?
That email was sent out today as the reminder. So when I sent the email out today, what I'm going to do is, if you did not get it and I add someone in and I resend it out, it'll update it. But it's going to also be there. Now, I have another little surprise for you before the big surprise. Because as I was teaching this class, I realized I want to make sure you guys get this information. And in the emails, if you noticed, I said, make sure you join and attend because we're probably not going to post this on the YouTube. The reason is we want to get in the habit of people joining the classes, not just going on YouTube watching. We want a live audience. But what I'm going to do is today is I am going to put this video on the website, on the YouTube channel for about 7 days, okay? And if you go to the channel tonight to rewatch it, and I want you to watch it because I mentioned some things about the Dropbox and accessing the files, and that's in the recording. But I'm also going to put the links to all of the songs and the materials that I just said. So that's another way you can access it. So if you go to the YouTube channel today, and you go to the playlist is called 5026 Tucson. I believe it's 5026 Tucson. The video will be posted there, and I'll show you where. If you go to the YouTube channel, okay, and youtube.com/Fletcher Music. Got to spell it right. Fletcher Music Centers. It'll bring you right to our YouTube channel. Looks like this. And if you go and if you subscribe, it's even better because then what you can do, you'll be reminded when it gets posted. But if you go to this thing called the playlist, and it always shows the newest one, you'll see a bunch of different playlists. Right here, if you click this full playlist, it'll show up. And then on that link, when I post it, I'll have all of the links for the stuff. So I'm trying to give it to you as many ways possible. So today's email that went out as a reminder has, if you click on it, it gives you the materials. There's another link in the email today that if you click on it, it gives you access to all of the Christmas materials and presets. And then on the YouTube channel tonight, when I post a video, it'll have a link for those same two things, okay? And if there's any questions outside of that, don't hesitate to call, to email me at Fletcher Music, rroman at FletcherMusic.com, and I'll answer that for you. But we have a special treat for you because Jerome here, he said, you know, that setup that you're using for Winter Wonderland and Santa Claus is Coming to Town, that also works great. And he was rambling off of these songs, but he said it also works great for White Christmas. Is that what you said? Did I hear?
Yeah.
I could use it for White Christmas?
White Christmas, especially when Uncle Frank and Aunt Janice come over.
That's right. Uncle Frank and Aunt Janice, whoever that is. Who's Uncle Frank and Aunt Janice?
Well, actually, Uncle Frank was my mom's brother.
Okay. So you all know Jerome's Uncle Frank. So he. All right. So I'm gonna put this on, and I hope it's in the right key. Actually, we need to put the camera. We need to put the cameras in a way so that they can see you just sitting there, kind of like your people keep entering the room. All right.
I'm kind of like I'm at home Christmas.
He's at home. He's
and
around
you
the piano, but we
and
don't have a
everybody's around the
piano. We have a
piano.
virtual orchestra.
Everybody's around the organ.
All right. So is this a good key for you?
No, take it up a couple.
Up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We've been rehearsing this for weeks and weeks and weeks, folks. So we'll see what happens. I don't like that intro. Let's do this one. Oops.
I like that intro. It's not busy.
There we go.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetop glistening and children listening to hear sleigh bells in the sky. And I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days, may your days, may your days be merry and white, and may all your Christmas is bright. Take it up again. And I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetop glistening and children to hear sleigh bells in the snow. And I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days, may your days, may your days be merry and white. May all your Christmas, and may all your Christmas, and may all your Christmas is white. Yeah. Merry Christmas, guys. I know it's early, but Merry Christmas.
There you go. Well, we hope you can hear that okay. It's hard to try to get all the sound balance right when we're trying to do all this, but let's give a big round of applause to Mr. Jerome Johnson, everybody. Jerome has left the building. No, he's not. He's right behind me. All right, well, we hope you enjoyed the hope you got a lot of
Okay, Matthew.
thank you.
I'll try my best.
All right, so go practice, go rehearse those
Let's.
Christmas songs
So I
now.
would not hurt you or
Oh,
disturb
someone's
you.
having a
But
Christmas tree.
sometimes just
there.
what you do is the reason why I talk about like
All right, well, folks, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
They're
you.
out of control.
Give me.
Real soon. Take care. Keep playing music. Stay safe, and mwah.
There's over there.
Good deal. Good job.